Hi, this is Brian Forrester, and today we're exploring a site you probably have never heard of called Abu Rawash. And at this location is this amazing piece of granite stone that has a curve to it and also has obvious evidence of ancient machining marks, which you will see. Now, where its original location was in relation to Abu Rawash is not known, but it's one of the best examples of ancient linear machining technology that you could possibly see. Abu Rawash is not open to the general public, but if you get special permission, you can go and explore it, and it's a part of the ancient system of pyramids located in the general Giza Plateau area. Now, most people think that the Giza Plateau is simply where the three great pyramids are, but that's not true at all. Here you can see that the casing stone of this once pyramid was pink granite, likely from Aswan, which is hundreds of miles away. And here you see the darkening of the inner core of the limestone. That apparently is intense heat. So it's another example of a location where an ancient pyramid was struck by an enormous amount of heat, likely around 12,000 years ago. And we also see evidence there you see on the left-hand side of that pink material. That is the mortar that connected the casing stone to the limestone core. This is an example of granite. Again, it looks like it has been hit by an intense amount of heat, and that is a recent revelation by our team as we explored Egypt in April of 2019. There again in the center you could see the darkening of the limestone, which apparently was done by heat. Now, the major question regarding Abu Rawash, which obviously was a pyramid at one time, is whether it was being built or whether it was partially deconstructed and the stone used at other locations long after its creation. Because the whole top of the pyramid is missing. Some theories are that the pyramid and the pyramids of the Great Pyramid system were energetic or vibrational structures which in some way exploded around 12,000 years ago. Clearly, these were not ancient tombs. And again, the unique thing about Abu Rawash is this is the descending passageway into what was a pyramid. Again, look at the charring marks on the left and right-hand sides. And here we are descending into the core of this ancient pyramidal structure. Once again, you see the charred marks of the stone, probably not a localized fire, but something far more extensive. And it's at other locations in Egypt, such as Karnak, that again we see these strange high heat scorching marks. Now, this is the interior of the descending passageway. You can see it's a combination of limestone blocks and then also the bedrock itself. Now, this site is not open to the general public, as I said, but if you get special permission and a proper licensed guide, then you're allowed to visit it. It's not an easy process, quite complex, and I personally have only been here twice, but again, it's quite probable that you've never heard of Abu Rawash, but you can look it up on the internet and see the description of what most academics think it was. Now you're looking at the actual core of the pyramid structure itself. And as you can see, mainly it's the bedrock itself. So the major question is, how was the bedrock cut in order to achieve this very deep shaft-like area? Obviously it wasn't hand tools, and as many of you understand now, a structure like this was not built by the dynastic Egyptians, but was inherited by them, and later on probably used as a quarry, possibly by the Romans or another culture. And that is the shaft itself. There is a taper to it. It's actually wider at the top than at the bottom, which is quite curious. And here we are back outside again. You can see that the pink granite was the casing stone locking into the limestone. And again, we see evidence of ancient scorching or charring marks on the surface. And there again is the mortar material. It looks like a mixture of the pink granite and also the limestone. Some people speculate that it's a kind of geopolymer, but scientific testing will have to be done in a laboratory in North America at some point in order to analyze the material and see if it's simply ground up granite and limestone or if it's more complex. Now here you can see that the weathering is very excessive in some areas. Once again, evidence of scorching. There is the pinkish mortar once again. It's a lot of this mortar used. Actually, stunningly, it appears that the construction of the pyramid in some ways is sloppier than I expected. I thought maybe a thin layer of mortar would have been employed, but in some cases it was up to an inch or more thick, as you can see in the bottom of the video there. Lots and lots of mortar. Whereas when we go to places like the Bent Pyramid or the Great Pyramid, again, mortar was used in the core, but not as much as here. Once again, you're looking at some of the granite stone from the casing, decomposing in a very strange manner, likely the result of a burst of intense heat in the very distant past, because granite doesn't normally weather this way. And that was backed up by Susan Moore, who is our geologist who came with us on this day trip to this amazing location. Once again, you see the charring of the exterior of the core of the pyramid, almost completely composed of limestone. And once again, some of the casing stone decomposing and crumbling in a very, very odd manner. This is the location of Abu Rawash, and soon you'll be able to see right there. There is the Giza Plateau that you know of in the distance. The amazing thing is that from one site to the next, you can see the next series of pyramids. And here we have a strange, I don't know if this is an excavation or if it was part of the ancient pyramid or if it was a boat pit or if this was where a giant saw was located to cut the blocks in its construction. You see many similar ones on the Giza Plateau, which are called boat pits by most academics, but what the original function is, I think is, again, unknown. That's why it's great to go and visit these locations in person. Here, again, we see strange discoloration of the limestone. Whether this was the result of intense heat charring or not, I'm not quite sure. And once again, the strange erosion patterns of the core, or the exterior of the core, of the once pyramid at Abu Rawash. The other intriguing thing is you can see that the bedrock slopes inwards towards the pyramid, and this was the case on all four sides. That, of course, would make the pyramid much more stable. The stones would be pushing against each other, And it was obviously an intentional thing.